Hey guys, at the end of this video, I want to show you how to get your free audiobook of Utopia for Realists by signing up for a free trial at audible.com using the link in the description. Utopia for Realists is about how to achieve the complete ideal progressive platform. It's such a great audiobook, and at some point, every progressive should listen to it. So stay tuned to learn how to get your free copy. Again, the links are in the description below. So I have some good news for all supporters of Bernie Sanders. Politifact just did an in-depth analysis of Bernie Sanders' proposed Medicare-For-All single-payer healthcare plan. Let's take a look at their analysis and we'll talk about it. Bernie Sanders' healthcare plan will save average American family nearly $1,200 per year. That's from Politifact. Now, first off, I should mention who Politifact is and why this is a big deal for all progressives. Politifact is pretty much the #1 fact-checking website out there. They are highly respectable when it comes to their fact-checking. And so them doing an analysis on the details of Medicare for All is amazing. Absolutely awesome. And their results are exactly what we expected, and they are exactly what Bernie Sanders has touted for decades now, guys. So, first off, there's something to mention about this headline, and you'll come to find this out later on. When it says it will save average American family nearly $1,200 per year, that's the average. That is not the median. By median, it's going to be around $8,000 because the middle class and the poor will not pay for this. This will be 100% paid for the rich class. I love it. It's awesome. And I love that this is a fact-checking website, supposedly unbiased. Well, it's just great because conservatives keep losing, you know, all of these outlets, all these news outlets and fact checkers and research organizations. They keep going in favor of Bernie Sanders, and they're losing all of their support. So, for example, the Koch brothers funded a study that showed universal health care, Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan, would net save Americans $2 trillion per year. Or per 10 years, I think it was. I can't remember. But still, like, whoa! You lost your Koch brothers! Like, they have an incentive to not support universal health care, and they don't. But they funded a study that does, and I love it. All right, let's talk about this study. PolitiFact has conducted a fact-checking analysis of the Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders' proposed healthcare plan, which promises better healthcare at lower costs for Americans. And despite widespread doubts that it would be possible to pay for Sanders' proposed plan to expand Medicare to all Americans without increased taxes on the middle-class Americans, the analysis by the Pulitzer Prize-winning project concluded that the Vermont senator's proposed Medicare for All single-payer system would save the average American family and business thousands of dollars in healthcare costs. The analysis estimated that it can save the average family $500 to $1,823 per year. So keep in mind, that's even if you include the rich class. It's an average saving of up to $1,823 per year. Although PolitiFact's estimation of healthcare cost savings under Bernie Care is significantly lower than the Sanders campaign estimate of $3,855 to $5,175, Sanders supporters argue that the most significant point to note is that PolitiFact has confirmed Sanders' claim that American households will pay less under his proposed single-payer healthcare system than they are paying under President Barack Obama's Affordable Care Act. When CNN's Dana Bash raised questions about the Vermont senator's proposed healthcare plan during a January 3rd interview of State of the Union, Sanders answered that our proposal will save the average middle-class family thousands of dollars a year in healthcare costs. Sanders repeated the claim after Barack Obama's January 12th State of the Union address while responding to criticisms from Chelsea Clinton. Although Sanders has not released the full details of his proposed plan, he has indicated that it would be based on the bill for a single-payer expanded Medicare system he introduced in 2013. And then I'll read a little bit more and then I'll stop here. Sanders proposed to fund his single-payer healthcare system with a 6.7% payroll tax on employers and a 2.2% healthcare tax on Americans earning an income of less than $200,000 per year, or joint incomes under $2,500 per year. Americans earning more than $2,500 a year will be taxed at progressively higher rates. He also proposed a 5.4% surcharge on Americans who modified adjust gross income exceeds $1 million and a 0.02% tax on Wall Street financial transactions. So in my view, I don't like that he wants to raise taxes on the middle class and the poor who have jobs. In my view, I think you can get rid of that. But understand this. You already pay payroll tax for Medicare if you're in the middle class. That percent is about the same that Bernie Sanders is referring to here. So your taxes aren't going to go up very much. And in fact, I don't agree with Bernie Sanders' plan to increase taxes on the middle class. I think you can increase taxes a little bit more on the rich and get away with not taxing the middle class at all. In fact, you could probably lower taxes. And David Pakman did a really good segment where he analyzed how we can pay for it. And I recommend looking up David Pakman, How We Can Pay For It, on YouTube, and you'll find a great video and analysis of how, in fact, we can pay for it. So just understand this. This is Politifact, guys. You conservatives just lost Politifact. That's huge. I love this. And understand that Politifact is pretty much conservative. Like, they're supposed to be unbiased, but they do lean conservative. If you go under like the Trump promises or whatever on Politifact, you're going to find that like Politifact considers many of the promises that Trump made to be a success and that he has kept his promises, despite the fact that they fail to acknowledge like 90% of the promises that Trump has made. They only look at the ones that he did promise, and then they give him a pass when almost 90% of the time he didn't actually follow through with the promises that he made. So, for example, is he building a wall? I mean, Politifact basically says yes. And it's like, no, he really hasn't, guys. I mean, he said he was going to build a wall and Mexico would pay for it. Like, that's the promise. And Politifact frames it as the other way around. So understand this, that Politifact is not some progressive poll or anything or fact-checking website. They're fairly establishment. But nonetheless, and I know a lot of progressives would disagree with me probably on that, but nonetheless, they joined Medicare-For-All. They support it. I love it. I love it. Every time someone comes out, and it's just like every month or two, there's a report that says, universal health care will net save Americans. Universal health care will net save Americans. Universal health care will net save Americans. It's great. Every single month we get this stuff. We've never had a study come out that says universal health care would increase taxes and we would net lose money. Nope. Never heard it. Utopia for Realists really should be the first book you read if you want to know more about progressive policies. To get your free audiobook, go to the description below and click on the link to sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.